Okay. Happy Sunday to you all. Happy Sunday. Grand Rise. Greetings. Jambo. Ashanti. Yes. Greetings to you, my YouTube family. CR7 WMD. What's going on? What's I'm seeing CR7? What's good, CR7? What's good? Yes. So you're a football, you're a football fan. So that's a shorts of TV. I mean, Ronaldo, something like so. A lot of Ronaldo, you're a Ronaldo fan. Okay, great to see you. CR7, this episode. So check out your team, man. Look at yourself, man. We watch football too much. When the younger watch football, get mature like this. Like that. Just still watch football, but and to big up yourself. And suddenly, great to see ourselves, big up yourself. And towards others in the bushes, big up yourself. And I be on part 3 of um, ambassadors. An ambassador for Christ. So we dive straight into it. Then we're gonna read some of the daily newspaper there in Jamaica. The two leading newspapers in Jamaica, the Gleaner and the Observer. our scripture is taken from 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 20. Talking about the ambassadors of Christ. Couple years now, so we're on part 3 of ambassadors of Christ. And now 2 Corinthians 5, verse 26, our prior scripture says, Now then, we are ambassadors for Christ, and so God will receive you by us. We pray you in Christ, stay, be you reconciled to God. One more verse is taken from Ephesians 6, verse 20, which says, For which I am an ambassador in bonds, that therein I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 20. Our motivational quotes says, Our role as an ambassador of Christ is to proclaim the good news of salvation, to heal the brokenhearted, and to set the captive free. Yes, yes indeed. Yes indeed. So we can take a praise and worship song as we continue. Prophetic words for today. Receive the grace to represent Christ verbally on earth and receive his crown in heaven in the name of Yahshua. Our message is representing Christ today requires some basic skills. You must know God's word and the central message of the kingdom. The central message of God's kingdom, which he representing. He should have an informed mind, and also he should have a good character. His character can make or break his mission. These skills, knowledge, and accurately informed mind, wisdom and artful method, and character, and can attract and manually play a part in every effort involvement with unbelievers. Wow. I guess I don't want to smile and read at the same time. So I didn't practice that, so sorry about that. You said smile so because it costs you no job. I can't smile and read. I don't know what to do it. Sorry. I'm reading the message from the devotional here, so I can't smile and read. And then again, my reading glasses expired. No, why you take down what you say? No, you shouldn't do that. You didn't say anything wrong, you know. You just say smile, but I can't smile and read. I'm reading a message from the devotional here. This is a thing I've been doing for quite some time on my channel. Because since it's quite early in Kingston to me, because 11 minutes past 4 in the wee hours of the morning here. Yes. In addition to the foregoing skills, an ambassador should have the following qualities. He or she should be ready. An ambassador should be alert for chances to represent Christ and should not break away from a challenge or an opinion. He or she should be patient, and an ambassador should not quarrel but will listen in order to understand them with genu- genuineness, will speak to respectfully engage those who disagree. He or she should be reasonable and an ambassador as informed con- conditions, not just feeling, giving reason, ask questions, aggressively seek answers, and will not be stumbled by the same challenge twice. He or she should be practical. An ambassador adapts to each unique person and situation. Um, maneuvering with wisdom to challenge bad thinking and presenting the truth in an understanding and compelling way. He or she should be clear. In addition, he should be sympathetic and understanding towards others and will acknowledge the merits of the cultural view. He or she should be honest. An ambassador for Christ should be careful with his facts and should not misrepresent another's view or overstate his own case or underst- understate the demands of the gospel. He or she should be humble. An ambassador for Christ is pro- provisional in his charm, knowing that his understanding of truth is valuable. He should not press a point beyond what his evidence allows. He or she should be attractive, act with grace, kindness, and good manners. He or she should not dishonor Christ in his conduct. Finally, he or she should be dependent. An ambassador knows that effectiveness requires joining his best effort with God's power. So, beloved ones, I encourage you to pray for God's grace, enabling and then acquire the foregoing skills and traits with the help of the Holy Spirit. You will succeed in your God-given role or position as Christ's ambassadors in Jesus' mighty name. Wow. So, an ambassador for Christ, based on what I'm reading here from the devotional, it's an article that we get each day from the Mountain of Fire Ministries. And, whetting my spiritual appetite for Mountain of Fire for quite some time. I've been acquainted with Mountain of Fire Ministries. They are from Nigeria. They are they're also in Jamaica. They're in America, in Canada, England, in the US. Mountain of Fire Ministries. They're from, as I said, they're from Nigeria. It's a church based in Nigeria, but it's spread all about in Jamaica, America, the Caribbean, Canada, England, so forth. And we pray a lot. So bring the gospel of honest-hearted individuals who want to know the word of God. So every day, the devotion is sent to us all over the place. So as individuals, we relate. thing. So I'm quite acquainted with a lot of my African brothers and sisters from different cultures. Understand? From my Nigerian brothers and sisters, from my Kenyan brothers and sisters. And see, boy, move, pick up yourself. You, when you have a message, you were saying smile, but I I don't know. I can do in public speaking from my place of worship for many, many years. So I think it's how to gesticulate, put up your hands or reading. So they never taught us. I can remember they teaching us how to smile when you're reading, especially when your reading glasses is not it's not up to par. Your glasses need to change. It's kind of fuzzy, kind of scratch up. So you have to focus really hard to see the words properly. Not trying to find this reading and smiling. I never catch that one. So yeah, sorry about that. Um, but based on what I've just read from the devotional, an ambassador of Christ, it's a big responsibility. So much, whether you're a male or female, you have to conduct yourself in such a manner to win persons for the Lord Jesus Christ, or in Hebrew would say Yahshua. Understand? So it's a big responsibility. You have to acquire yourself in such a manner to bring people, or in other words, attract people to the word, to the message of hope, because a lot of people here are feeling down and despondent and so forth. The word of God is there to re re-energize, re-energize. Where are you from? Oh, I did not even mention it. I'm from Kingston, Jamaica. I thought you know, heard. I always mention I'm from Kingston, Jamaica. Kingston, Jamaica. I'm a Jamaican. You can hear it in the voice, the accent in the voice. I'm a Jamaican, living in Jamaica. So there, give thanks and praise to the Most High God, Yahweh, what He is doing. It's you are speaking slow. Oh, it's just. Oh, sorry about that too. I apologize. It's just my way of. I don't. All right. When I speak fast, people. So I try to speak slow so people can catch every word I'm saying. So it's just a habit. So bear with me, please. And why you're moving your thing on the screen? Why you're moving it? You know, every time you write something, you delete it. Why? You're doing that. You know, you come like you don't want to give me any views. The more you remove the things that you write, it's like you don't want to give me any views on the live stream here. I don't think you understand this thing here, my friend. The more you remove your comment in the chat, it's like you're not giving me any views here. You being here and writing is doing good for me. But when you remove them, it's like you're defeating the purpose of being here, not even the truth. Honestly. We need the views, we need the comments because we are trying to reach our objective of hitting our milestone of that 4,000 watchers. And we've been pushing, pushing, pushing. That's why we do live stream. That's why I do live stream to generate more views and hours to add to the watchers that I have accumulated so far. Understand? So thank you so much. No matter doctor. I want to pray to God. Please don't remove your comment, please. Just leave it. I see you have 8 persons watching and we're done 21 minutes so far. Thank you so much. wherever you are in the world. Where are you from? Bold, Grover. Where are you watching me from? If I may ask. Where are you watching me from? Is that your... This is my office. I am a security officer. We're having some, what do you call it now, cold front. So the time is quite chilly. So I have to put on this my uniform shirt, a white shirt, very white. Wear this pads to identify myself when I'm walking. So that I'm doing a patrol, people can see me. People think I'm a pro and I'm a criminal. You know. So, no, not a construction worker. This is a part of the uniform too. This is what you wear when you work at night to make yourself visible on the property. So protecting people thinking that you're an intruder. You didn't answer my question. I asked, where are you watching me from? Go over. And Rena. Well, go on, Rena. Look at yourself. Yes, indeed. Anyway, so can you speak loud? Oh, the mic gone so far. I can't hear you properly and clearly. Okay. I hear you, Bold Grover. They also have the mic in our hand now, so we'll switch over into our daily newspaper here, seeing what we're having from the Observer. Mama, is that Melissa coming back? Oh my. Article here. A little boy asking his mother a question. It's like him to the weather. So I ask Mama, is that Melissa coming back? Oh my goodness. Alright, let's get into it. I see a picture here with a little boy, his mother, on a mattress. Lying. Alright, let's get into it. Lying on a mattress in front of what's left of her home. Hurricane Melissa battered home. Marvelyn Anderson held her 7-year-old son, Kequan Campbell, who is still traumatized after the storm destroyed his bedroom and left their house in Retrieve, Hanover, balancing on columns that threatened to give way at any moment. Wow. For 24 hours after the weather system made landfall last month, they huddled in the kitchen of their half-concrete wooden house, listening as a gush of water from Careful ran down the hillside and started eroded section of their land. Wow. In the darkness, they heard pieces of zinc banging against the house, while some took flight in the hurricane force winds, which also took precious items they have brought over the years with it, as the wind howled and the structure shook. Anderson said she held her son as he cried and questioned when the nightmare would end. He is still saying, "Mommy, I am traumatized." Anderson shared with the Jamaica Observer on a visit to the community on November 5th, just over a week after the Category 5 hurricane hit. When the wind packed up last night, be- because that's his room, and you see the zinc that he used to be, sorry, beneath the window. The window is gone, and the zinc still there. So when the window packed up last night, when the wind picked up last night, it was banging. So he was saying, "Mommy, is that Melissa coming back? Is that Melissa?" And I said, "No, Papa, it's just the wind. It's just rough." And the fact that the land is no longer good makes it worse, said a clearly distraught Anderson. The mother of two said she is trying to stay strong for her son and her 21-year-old daughter, Kenisha McLean, fearful that if she breaks down, she may never recover. Okay. Mentally, I have to stay strong. I haven't shed a tear all now. I have to stay strong because the moment I break, I think that will be it. She, McLean, has been crying. That's her daughter, crying, crying. I keep trying to tell her that if it doesn't make any sense, said Anderson, I have to be strong. I have to stay strong. I have to stay strong. She Anderson saying over and over because I cannot afford to break. I cannot afford to break. She repeated it, repeatedly saying as a reminder to herself as she recounts the event on October 28th. In what might have been described as a perfect timing to provide some comedic relief, her daughter walked with a photo of herself. The picture had traveled with the wind to the neighbors who found it at a section of the roadside and returned the picture's item to McLean. As Anderson looked at the photo, a small smile flashed across her face and she chuckled, finding just the fact that something lost had been returned. Okay. The mother told the Sunday Observer that she had experienced Hurricane Ivan in 2004, but nothing came close to Hurricane Melissa and the tale of destruction and loss of it left in its wake. It wasn't pretty. My son, he cried almost every time. He was scared. He kept saying he wanted it to go away. Melissa, please go. When we came out on Wednesday morning after the hurricane to assess the damage, we couldn't we didn't know if it was this bad. We didn't know it was this bad. We realized that the entire room was gone. Basically everything was wet. We still have a, a bunch of wet stuff inside there. This mattress and that bed were down were down there on on that side, on that hill. Okay, because the room is damaged. 'Cause part of it is concrete and part was wooden. So the wooden section that her son was in his room is totally destroyed, and stuff were wet. So everything from there were flown across the other side of the hill there. So as the article is saying, if you can look, the back door is still down. It's still down there. The wardrobe was down there. The dresser is still down there because that is gone. That is no longer good, she said. Wow, wow. We can't find most of this stuff. Most of this stuff is gone. Everything I have been trying to see what I could salvage from last week that I've been watching from last Thursday, October 30th. I I watch every single day to see the amount of things I can save. I have some down there that I have to just throw them away. But all in all, we have to give God thanks. We were able to salvage some things. Some persons were still worse than us. She said, looking out into the morning range. Anderson said that it had not been for her kitchen, which is made of concrete, and it's closer inside, they would have nowhere else to go. Wow. We retreated to the kitchen, and the fridge was outdoor at that point. We stayed in there and we kept asking when it is going to end, when it's going to stop, how long. I kept saying even before it came, that issue was that it was so slow, and at the speed it was going, I knew it was going to take a long time to move on. When it actually when it's actually here and you are in it and you realize it seems like it was never going to end. Anderson recounted, looking up at the sky to present tears, um, to prevent tears from rolling down her cheeks. Uh, cheeks. Okay. The gesture, apparent reminder of early result. I cannot afford to break. And she continues again. Her son watched as she spoke. Unlike his mother, his eyes be- betrayed him, and tears flowed freely. At one point, the 7-year-old snuggled up to his mother, his face laced with concern. When asked if he was willing to share his experience, he quickly shook his head, hid behind his mother, held her arms, and burst his face into her side. However, McLean was still willing to speak. The 21-year-old told the Sunday Observer that while she was not at the house during the passage of the hurricane, she sat in the constant worry for days because she could not reach her mother after the storm. I had service for a while, and that's when I tried to call her. Her service gone. So I was like, maybe it's okay. My roads were blocked. So after a couple of days, I got through to her and she sent me a video. When I loaded the video, cold bumps appeared on my skin. I broke down. I had to check my blood pressure as well because I had to ensure was okay. That this mosquito want to be on the camera too. Constantly a picture of my face. Why do you want to bite me in my face? Look how much other place can bite me in my head, on my hand, in my face it want to bite me. Yeah, mosquito. Excuse me. Who this? Hey, my sister. You know when I read, you can't look down when I read at the same time. But big up yourself, my sister. I see you there. Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you. All right. Let me see now. We'll reach. I think a part right here, so she got to be checking, make sure our blood pressure. Uh, okay, go. Ready to scroll up some more. Okay, I had called everybody in the lane to see if she was okay. When I came and saw the house, okay, all right. That is her daughter speaking. That is Anderson's daughter speaking, McLean. She said that she called everybody in the lane. When she came and saw, when I came and saw the house, he, her brother now, wrote down because he was saying he wants to come with me. But I was saying to him, there are a lot of persons staying where I am as well, so he can come with me. McLean recount her eyes filled with sadness. The 21-year-old said she has since reached out to everyone she can for assistance for her mother and brother, who are now forced to live in ruins as they pick up the pieces. I don't want her to be here and heavy rains and then she loses her bathroom and then she loses her kitchen and then there just nothing. It's expensive to start housing. Sorry, it's expensive to start housing, she said, word um, exit across her face. Anderson shared that the room at the back of the house had caved in and the soil that supported the back and side of the structure had washed away. She also said that they have another portion of the land that is in better condition and that belongs to her great grandfather. But building costs are expensive. As they try to figure out their next move, the family said they would like some assistance to at least have half a temporary shelter. Okay. and I'll continue reading. All right, I can see a picture of the structure of the property. Right now, food is not our issue. Our issue right now is the frontier because we don't know how long the columns foot is going to be able to hold. So that's our main issue right now, said Anderson. What we need right now is to get a roof over our heads. We have the other side of the land. That part is not as simple at this part, like this part. So we have that section, but we need help to get material and stuff in order to get something solid before we know we will be safe, she said, pleading for assistance. You can see, oh, okay, it's like the board structure is on some columns. I can see the columns underneath the building. The photographer did quite a good. He really went back to capture the image there of the house. As I said, part of it was wooden, and the kitchen was concrete. And she said that some of it, its land washed away, and things like that. So you can see a photograph of it. Okay. Well, we still have stories coming to light um, from the hurricane there, devastated our island of Jamaica. Yes, so you will find persons still recapping what took place with them. All right. Yes, indeed. There's a will inside you. After the storm, young Jordan's diabetes struggle. Yes. Wow. After the storm, young Jordan diabetes struggle. My gosh. 13-year-old Jordan who has type 1 diabetes. 13-year-old. Wow. Hear that again? 13-year-old type 1 diabetes sits outside his home in White House, Westmoreland. There's a photo there of him in the Sun website article here as well. To read it, I push up and I will send you. You're not giving me my Monty Perkins laugh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. You let me give you my Monty Perkins laugh. Oh my goodness. As I continue the Sunday Observer article here of 13-year-old Jordan retrieved insulin from the igloo on the veranda of his home in White House, Westmoreland. He skillfully inserted the needles into the bottle and was about to inject himself when his older sister got up to help him. Not that he needed the help, as he has been taking insulin twice a day almost his entire life. To me, this is the youngest person I have ever come across with diabetes. What? They're not telling the people that diabetes can be reversed, you know. Why are these people not telling the people that diabetes can be reversed? But anyway, you don't know me as a person. I, I, I respect medical people, and but I also know so they are naturopathic people who deal with the natural stuff to help curb. Diabetes can be reversed. Enough of the things that can be reversed, but they're not telling us. So we need to alkaline our bodies. You know, they're not telling us. And people who are brave and bold like myself will come out and speak about matters like this. 13 years old. And your own sister said he has been taking insulin his entire life. Wow. It has simply become an school. I just realized that my laptop screen is cracked. I have to get it sorted out. Become a part of who he is. Evident in the way he introduced himself. He shared his name, age, and the school he attends, and ended with a phrase, type 1 diabetes. Wow. As a child living with type 1 diabetes, Jordan is among many children managing non-communicable disease while depending on daily medication to stay alive. Type 1 diabetes is a chronic condition whereas the immune system attacks the insulin production by producing cells in the pancreas, leading to lifelong dependence on insulin therapy. Low levels of insulin can cause high blood sugar and serious health problems. However, with the passage of healthcare medicine, the familiar routine that helps to keep him alive has been thrown into uncertainty. Unopened insulin must be refrigerated between 2 centimeters to 8 centimeters until expiration date. With the loss of electricity, no power, after Hurricane Jordan has had no choice but to store his medication in an igloo. My mother brought 2 bags of ice and put them in an igloo and cool cold water that comes from it that we just use it to help keep the insulin cold so it doesn't spoil. He is quoted in a release from the University of Jamaica. Power lines in his community were destroyed and still took some time to be repaired. Why am I telling the truth? You know, when power got restored on the server, because I remember 37 years ago when I was younger than Jordan. I was about probably 10, 11 when Gilbert came, and for months upon months, we didn't have no power in where I live in Kingston, Harborview, and Bull Bay, because it came from the east. I live in East Kingston, so Gilbert came from like St. Thomas, Portland, to the eastern side of the island where I live, and we got a big hit 37 years ago. And to see 37 years after the fact, Melissa comes and wow. So with some stores still shattered in the aftermath of the hurricane, ice has now become a scarce commodity. This has left Jordan and others like him in a dangerous predicament. The life-saving medication they depend on risk losing its strength without proper storage. Wow. Then there's the worsening food insecurity. Since the storm blew, my mother and father have um, been very stressed. I haven't been eating much lately, Jordan said. Before Melissa, he typically ate up to 6 times a day, which was necessary to help manage his blood sugar. But now, limited food supplies make the impossible. Um, Louise said. After the storm, people have been fighting over food because of this. My parents won't get any because they don't like the shame. And when some people pass by with free stuff, then we will go and get it. So we don't go to the where the crowds are and get pushed down and to get hurt. He explained. Wow, wow. This totally breaks my heart right here. Um, I understand, but wow. And there are people down that side, plentiful hunting in the west. Westmoreland, Hanover, Trelawney, St. Elizabeth. Yes, indeed. Wow. I understand why. But him still, him father and mother should have still really put up more effort still. I understand. So them feel that way if and sometimes, my people in Jamaica, we can be very aggressive towards each other, me I tell you the truth. Not because I'm a Jamaican, but me I speak the factual truth. We can be very aggressive towards each other. And his father and mother said them can't deal with the shame and the what we going on in the crowd. Because a bunch of people were there. And in a situation like this, is for those who can endure, I could go up there to go tackle and thing. Because as we know, a hungry man is a angry man, So, yeah, yeah, man. So, as I said, me I cut back again. So after the storm, people have been fighting over food And because of this, my parents won't get any because they don't like the shame. And when some people passes by with free stuff, then we will go and get it. So we don't have to go in the crowd and get pushed down to get hurt. He explained, that is Jordan explaining here. Um, when we ask what type of assistance he needs, Jordan had only one personal request for him. I would want a container that I can hold ice to cool my insulin. He also mentions needs for his family, included a bed. He would know he need a bed, Jordan, and a TV for his mother, books and toys for his younger sisters, and a generator for his father. And the TV, but I'm laugh because we all get current from, but anyway, you're smart. You say you want a generator for your father. Well, me not play I don't want to be a bad advocate, but I heard from good sources Jamaica received 400 generators from Holland. And I know say when certain people in high position hear this, they might do me like Buju Banton. Say we are spread propaganda. But this is true means that Jamaica, and I know say some of my people are terrible. Remember, Holland sent 400 generator, and I hear say them rent out 50 of these 400 generators. Anyway, I've been able to access certain things, so I'll just stop right there. I know my people. And when it comes to free things, the people who have the power to mitigate the information, so you people won't hear these things. But I know from good sources, so the thing come and them not being given out to the people, and because no free things, no generator come more. I heard about the 400, but other people send and think I am not hearing about these things. You understand me? I see the Jordan father need a generator to power them if their son's insulin supply to keep it cool, to so he can get him insulin to keep his sugar level at stable condition there. All right, let's continue our article in the Observer here. Yes, but his concerns extends beyond his own family at home. The young Jordan urged support for his friends in the nearby community of Belmont in Westmoreland. Just okay, I said night, but come up there. I think you're constantly up and down, up and down. It's not stabilized for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why. Constantly. Sitting in the dark, waiting for you. Ooh, ooh. Yes. Oh, you touch it too? Yes, I'm sitting right here. Because I press it before you press it. Wondering the stars saying, and I be waiting, sitting in the dark, waiting for you. Ooh, ooh. Why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why? Mm. All right, let me shift this. I don't know. Sometimes up here the signal is good, and next time up here the signal is terrible. So I say, yeah. All right. Sometimes the signal is a terrible, so flow not working so good up here today for some reason. But you have to manage. You have to have when you this thing, you can't have one source of data provider, and you have to have two. Like how me have two, I can switch in between the two providers there. One of my device constantly has stopped because the signal is not so wonderfully well. So it fluctuate between digital and flow, but flow not flow today for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, continue reading here from young Jordan. He was concerned about his um, probably friends from other parts of Westmoreland. Let's see. This okay, he explained his own family home. Young Jordan urged support for his friends in nearby communities of Belmont in Westmoreland, and just look out for Belmont people. They got it bad. I have two friends there whose houses were destroyed, and they have to stay in tents. Whenever I got sick at school, they always looked out for me, so I don't want anything to happen to them. So just look out for the Belmont people, please, he pleaded. Wow. Despite everything, Jordan continues to display remarkable resilience, selflessness, and gratitude. As he ended his interview, he quickly added, "Life is good. Give God thanks." Wow. UNICEF said it is supporting the government of Jamaica through the Ministry of Health and Wellness to deliver life-saving assistance to children and families affected by Hurricane Melissa. According to the release, this includes providing essential health and nutrition supplies for children and families, supporting restoration of primary health services through mobile clinics, ensuring continuity of material and healthcare and childcare, delivering clean water, sanitation, hygiene supplies to affected communities, um, coordinating with partners to such families with psychological supplies. Children Protection Service, and urgent social and nutritional assistance, ensuring that children needs remains at the center of emergency response and recovery in line with UNICEF global commitment that every child has the right to survive, strive and be protected, especially in emergencies. UNICEF also said it will continue to work alongside national and international partners to ensure children like Jordan can access care, access the care, supplies, and support they need to stay healthy and safe as they recover from the storm. End of article. Mm-mm-mm. Yes, indeed. Let's see if we can find the next one. Uh, disappearing house. Oh, yes, disappearing houses. Content residents disappear as groundwaters swells homes. Oh yes, they were talking about through the rainfall, the natural underground aquifers they call them, because the water can flow that way out to go to the sea. It rise up. So as the motto says in Jamaica, land of wood and water, we have a lot of aquifers and a lot of underground springs and so forth. So there's a lot of um, spring waters in the west and upper St. Andrew area in Kingston. I understand. But true, some people build their house and where they deposit their human waste, these waters can become contaminated, so they don't want people to drink these waters. All right, living in content, Manchester. Horace McFarlane is no stranger to flooding, but started staring out at the zinc roof of his house in the distance, the only part of the structure still visible as water swallows section of the community. He says all he can do now is try to keep it together. I used to live down there in Content District, but I don't know. It's not a, a district anymore. It's a beach side, he said, pointing to the blue green water that has ruined his home. Let me scroll back up and you can see it look like a little valley there because you can see surrounding hills and things and you can see the waters way up to roof height. Basically, you sure it says lots of water that swell up the area right there, so wow. Let's continue what McLean says. McFarlane, Horace McFarlane was among dozens of onlookers gathered to see the community which was flooded, not by rain, but by rising groundwater, which over the course of several days rose so high that residents can now only make out the roofs of their houses. The phenomenon has drawn so many visitors that vendors has begun to set up shop in the area selling jerk chicken, snacks, and coconut water. And amid the bustle and morbid curiosity, McFarlane, fo- fondly called Mr. Mac, sat quietly in the back of a van and pointed out a, a white refrigerator just at the edge of the water along the blue barrel, indicating that both items belong to him, having floated out of his residence. Wow. It's not the first time his home has been flooded by groundwater, but McFarlane, who has lived in content for more than 20 years, told the Jamaica Observer he never expected it to be this bad. In fact, the number of houses impacted by the last Thursday um, stood at 15. About 2022, sorry, 2002, yes, yes, let me read it that way. 2002, in 2002, we had a series of rain. After the rain, all the water from the road run down the gully, and we noticed it started to come right up until it started to come up the down streets of my house, and we watched it until it reached about the seventh step and eroded. At the time, I was the only one that got affected, he recounted. This time around, the incredible, the, the incredibility of onlookers is somewhat shared by McFarlane. After the hurricane, I did some cleaning up and went to my bed. I didn't see any sign of water. I get up early in the morning, I hear water. So I said to the people downstairs, it looked like you left a pipe on and the water came back. So you see when I opened the balcony door and look, I was looking on water down there, he said, pointing to what onlookers are referring to as a river. The flooding occurs days after the passage of Category 5 hurricane, which has forecast to bring to 30 inches of rainfall in the country. The volume of rain has left residents of several communities in St. Elizabeth, including sections of the Upper Black River morass near Santa Cruz, on edge as groundwater continues to rise, um, posting a threat of flooding which has reared memories of the 1979 flood that swallowed Newmarket in St. Elizabeth and led to evacuation deployment of Lewis Valley, a few miles from Newmarket. McFarlane said upon realizing the danger, he immediately went to check on his chickens and rabbits in the backyard, moving them out of harm's way. When I moved to the pen, the water was at my knees. I was hoping that it was going to stop. Like before, we watched it till it reached the seventh step, and when we saw it reach the eighth, we started to panic. We packed up things, he said. McFarlane sent his refrigerator, washing machine, and other items to safety in one trip via a pickup truck. He also moved his bed. However, by the time the pickup truck returned for a second trip some time later, it was too late to do anything. But wow, what was left got out of the house. The front of his home is level with the road, but the back elevated with a basement room underneath. McFarlane believes the area high is the reason his family was able to escape the rising water. There's that's why we escaped it. It never come so fast the first time, but it came readily fast this time now, and it came on us overnight. If the house was the level of downstairs we lived there, it would have come in on us, McFarlane said. He had been preparing for some amount of water to enter the house, and his family had moved some items to the upper levels, but nothing of the magnitude that our now experiences as was expressed. Wow. I never imagined that it would be like this. So right now I have a, a bed frame, dressing table, and chairs packed up on some drums in there, and all those things get beat beaten, he said, pointing to the zinc roof. McFarlane explained to the Sunday Observer. It was brand new, having been installed after Hurricane Beryl in 2024. It's just after this hurricane that I repaired it, put on that new roof, new ceiling, and just and it's just like I take that money and throw it away because the workman said I have to redo all the electrical work and the ceiling if I get back there. But I don't want to go back, he said. Citing trauma from the incident, McFarlane explained, my wife says she don't want to go back there, and obs- observers as observers came and went, many of them commented on the tranquil colors of the water, liking it to a beach. But for McFarlane, it's a painful sight holding up a paper bag full of medication. He said, right now I am living at a friend. My wife is somewhere else, and my daughter is somewhere else. That's how we split up. I am trying to talk and smile. I don't want to think about it because I am a sick person. So all this medication is for high blood pressure, sugar, diabetes, poor circulation. I can't work like before to start again. I can't do that. Head of the Water Resource Authorities, Peter um, Clark, explained the flooding phenomena in the press briefing last Thursday. There is an aquifer. Water is flowing underneath the whole of those lands and properties, but it is not the normal aquifer that a lot of you are accustomed to, which is a more sand earth aquifer that is more limestone. Because of the limestone, there are a number of caves and conduits that are underground. So the groundwater has been flowing into the area, Clark said, explaining that groundwater advances very slowly. He said this, combined with the intense rainfall leading up to the leading up and during the passage of Hurricane Melissa, has caused the overflow groundwater um, measurements. from the content beer hole incident that between September 25 and November 5th, Jamaica underwater levels increased by 100% or 330 feet. Wow, wow. Clark explained that. Explained the water is reaching the surface through sinkholes, which usually pulls water away from low-lying areas, but are now operating in reverse, pushing water up. The aquifer simply is a simple term, fill up, since it can't flow forward as much as it has been rising. Instead, Clark said, it's instead of flowing, it up, come upwards, further up the road from Content near the Kendall Morris Park. Their cars. Okay. And flocked to see what appeared to be a gasping overflow from the flooding of content. That overflow has turned out used to be fields into large water basins with the tops of trees just visible above the water. End of article. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Yes, so true. I kind of study my island and know say down there, so have a lot of aquifers all the place. That's why we say Jamaica is land of wood and water. A lot of aquifers all over this Lower back place here called Jamaica. A lot of it. A lot of aquifers about the place. A whole for springs all out. So, but some of them, but you know, 'cause you have to constantly test the waters to make sure them safe for consumption. Cuts are farmers forced to carry hope on their backs after Melissa. You can see to them face the elder emotions are evident on Alvin McQuish's face last Thursday as the farmer recounts the destruction done to his farm in rural St. Andrew by Hurricane Melissa. Wow, there's a photo of him, Alvin. Landslide that eroded a section of the Newcastle Main Road at the 17 miles post in rural St. Andrew has taken with it plots of produce, leaving farmers struggling to stay afloat. A portion of Alvin's McNivish 4-acre property, once lean with plantains, bananas, coffee, limes, sorrel, other crops, is now resting at the bottom of the hillside, devastating setback that brought him to tears as he paints a picture of damage caused by Hurricane Melissa. Mm-mm. On the other side of the breakaway, closer to um, Mile Section District, coffee, plantain, and banana farmer Aston Henry faces his own battle with a section of the main road gone. He is now forced to truck through the hill with his products strapped to his back to meet a, a vehicle on the opposite side. The exhausting journey limits how much he can carry and how much he can earn. Both men say that until the road is repaired, their livelihoods remain trapped behind the landslide. A farmer since, wow, so long, the 1960s, McNivish said he has never seen such devastation. I have stand up and take God's faith. If I don't take God's faith, I can't stand up in here. So it's not a little bit of money to bring back this. This is chicken feed. This is like he's saying. This is not chicken feed. I am old already. I am 69 years old next month. Okay. Next month he'll be 70. Oh, he's a December born like myself. Okay. Next month he'll be 70 years old, he said. Okay. Could not do, I can do it again. He told the Jamaica Observer last Thursday, his voice breaking. I can draw badness. I can't do badness. I have to do it with love to see if I can get something when you see all the water about to come to my eyes. You must know because it's the real truth. A lot of them are go around you say this and say nothing is wrong with you. You know, get nothing to rebuild. Okay, so he's just saying other people say you have nothing to go to rebuild. His eyes swelling up with tears. That's Alvin saying that. To make matters worse, 69-year-old Alvin said that with a section of the road gone, residents are now using his farm, which sits on the hillside just above the main road, as a makeshift bypass will, while he has willingly allowed them to cross his property. Alvin recalls one encounter in which a man became aggressive and caused further damage to his crops. He said he chose to allow the incident to keep the peace, but now fears that his land is even more vulnerable as more people cut through the space daily. Alvin shared that he lives in red light district, roughly 2 miles from his farm, making it difficult to monitor that section and safeguard what remains of his produce. We're going to sit back. It'll go take a long time, and it's not every man wants to give you work, and it's not every man will help you because when you leave this and gone, another man come teeth it up. Wow. Simple as you see me here, take up a little banana tomorrow morning when I am going to town and a man come in here. You don't know is who. Although the hurricane blow, they are still they are still thief. So I can't stop a man if me no live here. Me two little sheds that I could sleep in, them blow down. Tuesday gone when Hurricane Melissa came, I was in my yard and leaned on my house and I feel the hurricane shake the place, the piece of house. is a boardhouse I have, and I felt it, and this mean I depend on the scraps of my little house. Mm, everything gone, a gully, nothing left on trees, lime trees got them gone, a gully. So where me I do Alvin's question desperately in need of answer. He told the Sunday Observer he was fearful that with a section of the road gone, the government might seek to use a portion of his land to rebuild a new road. As he packed coffee beans off the broken limbs, the experienced farmer said he intends to take things one day at a time as he tries to rebuild and recover. I have to try a thing. I can't sit down here and be lazy. You know why I do it? It keeps me occupied and I exercise myself. That's why I do it. Me no want to sit down and worry like with me I put me hand on my jaw say me a worry for Father God ready for me. Me not ready yet. So I have to have faith and me a fight me faith I go with God. Only Father God can help me. It's him who can put me back on my foot, said Alvin McNivish. Said the 69-year-old is requesting any assistance possible, adamant that he will not allow years of his investment to go down the drain. After trekking through McNevish farm land to access the other side of the road, the Sunday Observer spotted Henry, who shared his plight as he tries to salvage his coffee plants with a huge sec- with a huge section of the road gone. He said it is increasingly difficult to access his farm, which sits on 1 acre of land, and transporting products to the town center. We have to work. We have to walk across the breakaway with it, and a vehicle will come across the other side. It's a big impact, but we have to go and try to see what we can do. He shared. Henry, another farmer, stated that the steep hills and rocky terrain limit the amount of goods he can carry at any given time and increase the chances of crops spoiling. In my 30 years of farming in the hills, he said, he has never once experienced damage like this done by Hurricane Melissa. Henry stated that while his coffee plants were mostly spared, his bananas and plantain trees did not make it. He stated that he almost lost some limes, guava, and other fruit trees. The farmer said that while he has shared, there is often sleep. He saw it fit to leave the area the Thursday before the storm had landfall due to safety concerns. However, there was not one section when his mind was not on his farm. Ah, the potential damage he could suffer. I don't eat. I came back on Wednesday after the hurricane had, and it's when I reached back up here before I could cook and eat. From I went down Thursday, I don't go to the bathroom or anything. I don't eat anything. The only thing I drink is some coffee tea in the morning time. That's the only thing I don't eat any food because my mind just nah, my mind just on the farm, straight on the farm. He told the Sunday Observer he seeks to rebuild the farm. Said he is only requesting a few bags of fertilizers to make his better crops bloom again, better crops bloom again, until he will put in the work to restore his farm. It takes time to pick up where I got those off, come back again, see what can go on, and determine. Henry said. Okay, Henry is here. Aston Henry, Rastaman farmer, picking off beans of coffee beans here of his, it's a photograph of him, and you can see the landslide there of the farm, and you see the roadway there, the breakaway. Wow, you see banana planting trees belonging to Alvin McNevish, a farmer in Newcastle, St. Andrew, at 17 miles. Posts have been eroded along the section of the main road. And above is a photo of Aston Henry, a coffee and banana farmer, tries to salvage coffee beans last Thursday from his plants were battered by Hurricane Melissa. End of article. Wow. 9-year-old manage message to PM. Let's see what the 9-year-old has to say. 9-year-old message to PM Andrew Olness. Okay, road breakaway forces children residents to cross river track through hills in St. Andrew. Students from primary school appear their uniforms. Okay. Got to cross rivers to get to school on a drive through red light district and surrounding communities in East Rural St. Andrew. The Jamaica Observer spotted a group of children uh, gratefully running down a hill after school, but instead of their usual school approach footwear, socks, they were all wearing Crocs, shoes, slippers, an unusually sight that immediately the team's curiosity. The children, some of whom lives in Middleton district, explained that they have to switch to more casual footwear so they can cross a river to get to school. They said Hurricane Melissa, which battered section of Jamaica in late October, had washed away several sections of the road at 17 miles leading to Newcastle and other areas, forcing them and members of affected communities to take a rough route that requires winding through water that gets to get to school. Okay, hurricane was terrible because we have to cross the river every day and our road is destroyed, said a 9-year-old girl who attends the Creighton Primary School. She shared that she lives in Middleton district and before the Category 5 hurricane, she would travel to school via a motor vehicle. However, that is no more. Instead, she has a new daily routine. When we cross the river, we reach the other side, we can change our slippers or and crocs, put on our socks and shoes, she shared, noting that upon leaving school, students remove their shoes and don crocs and slippers to again cross the river. We do not want to get our shoes wet, she explained. The 9-year-old girl said she was scared the first time she crossed the river, but not so much anymore while her fears have subsided. She said she does not want to continue using the river to get to school. She questions if her concern would be heard by the Prime Minister and stated she had a message for him. I was going to ask him when he's going to get our road fixed because we don't want to walk every day because it's if somebody is sick, how are we going to get them to the hospital? She questioned. An 11-year-old boy from the same education institute also shared similar concerns, especially for his friends who he said live in a community called Settlement and were impacted by the hurricane. The boy said that the landslide near his home in Red Light District scared him, and when he came out the day after the storm, the damage was even more frightening. There were stones in the yard, and there were mud at the back of the house, and the rocks were falling in the night. When the storm was finished, I took a walk to explore it, and trees had fallen down, light posts were down or broken, and the road go into the river. He recalls. The 11-year-old said some of the roads have been cleared and he is happy he can go back to school as they work towards dreams of becoming a policeman. Okay, he's working towards his dream as a policeman. That's very good. However, he said he, that landslides and breakaways, which have affected some of his friends, have yet been fixed. Member of Parliament for East for St Andrew East Rural, Juliet Holness, and multiple videos on her social media accounts shared that she is working to assist all the affected areas and clear landslides where possible. She stated that the damage is extensive, with landslides, roadways, breakaways, flooding, and fallen trees in many communities. Wow. My team and I continue to assess the full extent of the damage and work with relevant agencies to restore access and deliver relief and in rebuilding. My thoughts remain with the with everyone affected, and I thank you for your strength and patience as we push forward. She wrote in a post showing roads affected by Hurricane Melissa. As the Sunday Observer journeyed deeper into the hills last Thursday, the team saw tractors clearing debris from section of the roadway. When the news team approaches Este Cafe, we were told that the road up ahead had eroded and could only be accessed by foot. There the team met Calvin Henderson, who sh- shared that while the section doesn't not impact him greatly, he feels for the children and residents on the other side. Anyway, I don't want to shift over because okay, excuse me. I would like the government to provide a little man road for the youth them to try to fix back the road because it kinda struggling on the youth to walk from up there so to get a bus right here in the morning. And for example, if somebody gets sick up there, Newcastle beyond, it'll go difficult because the only opinion we have is either to walk from up the hill to come here so or we have to go down through the next side of the mountain. So really and truly, a road is speedily needed here for the drivers to, in case an emergency, and for the school kids. He told the Sunday Observer. A member of the School of Vision Rasta Camp, Ira Miller, sat at a section of the roadside near Elite's Cafe with two small gas cylinders beside him. He explained that he had carried the cylinders from the camp and tracked through a narrow pathway just above the breakaway at 17 miles post to reach the road where he was waiting on a resident who with a bike to transport them to Kingston. Miller said the breakaway has made it increasingly difficult to move supplies for his roots drink business with the road severely damaged. He can only transport small amounts of items at a time across the hillside above the collapsed. A slow exhaustion process that has significantly reduced its outputs. When we bring them off the hill, we have to just be here. From the other day, we can't even carry out a whole heap of roads because we are go Montego Bay and Falmouth, and from them place there, and we can't move because the road is rough and the carts stuck over there, the Rasta camp. We can't come this side to move, so we are go do a thing in small amounts. Same way, we have to carry them from the where we are around to Rasta camp, right around here. Put them here, then bring them back. When we come in from Kingston, it's the same thing. He shared, pleading for temporary fixing. A resident on Middleton, Omar White, shared that residents are planning to create a makeshift bridge to improve access until the government can intervene and urge others in affected areas to do the same. He said he had just walked through a river with herbs and roots and paying a few men to help him carry the items because he can no longer do it alone. Jamaica needs to put hands and heart together and to try fix this because it is a massive problem, said White. When the Sunday Observer crossed the breakaway through the hills, the team encountered a man who identified himself as K. Yand, K. Yand Barnett. He shared that he played a hand in building a guest house that now sat destroyed at the foot of the hill. As you can see, everything is gone. The last thing I did was a set of stairs inside the house and everything gone. It, it surprised me, he said. Barnett said he was sent several videos of erosion, eroding lands, but this was his first time visiting the area. He said he could not believe his eyes as he assessed the damage. It was a nice place, but nothing is left. It surprised me to know that all the land is gone. If somebody did tell me say all of the land did I go move, I wouldn't believe it. He said, giving thanks that no lives were lost, but demand urgent action to address the area. And you can see like a concrete structure being eroded in the landslide going down the hill there. What as the photographer took a picture of it, the landslide of a section of the main road leading to Newcastle St. Andrew destroyed a section of the road in the rubble of a great house. Okay. Come on, see some like a piece of building for sure, you know. I look good when I see it. Yeah, that's a great house. Mm. Omar White, resident of Middleton, in a photo there. Okay. Yeah. And then a bridge in there, I'm not sure the other section. Wow. In the article. Yes, I would say the same way I'm going to read, you know. I read some paper, I could read the Observer here. Holidays, spirits at risk. Wow, this look like a landslide and people are walk. I make a little track to walk. Let's click in and see exactly which part is fewer more costly Christmas trees expected in wake of Hurricane Melissa. Okay, for the people who plant trees up in that section there. A farmer traverses what is left of the road which connects the two farms operated by Watson's Christmas tree mm, in in St. Thomas. And you can see like a landslide, and you can see it's like where the landslide they make a pathway like a roadway used to be there, so they make you can see it. So it's a they make a pathway walking through it. That's safe at all, cause if you know where you walk, so you can slide where, cause you can see what here. Because him overstand where I do, so I walk there. It's not a good thing to do. And him look way up based on how the photographer took his picture. For those looking forward to walking up to this, waking up to the smell of fresh pine from their Christmas tree this festive season. This simple pleasure is likely to come at an extra cost to the wake of Hurricane Melissa. Like many other farmers, those who supply Christmas trees are now contending with ruined plants and limited access to farms due to breakaways and landslide after Category 5 weather system obliterated sections of the country near weeks before the holiday seasons. If, as if sounding an alarm, Louis Watson, one of the owners of Watson's Christmas trees, a, a prominent supplier that operates two farms in the cold hills of the Blue Mountain in a community called Pineal Castle, said that will be a shortage of the Yidil season, especially this year and in this year and the years to come. Wow. So as Christmas trees that once went for about 2,500 per foot based on the height of the tree is not to attract higher prices. Yes, indeed. What is going to read again? Oh, Christmas trees, no? The winds damage them, tear, tear them apart, said Watson. Some of them have been uprooted, some are bent because the breeze battered them, so they are not lush green like they normally would be. There will be a shortage, not with me alone, but with other farmers, she told the Jamaica Observer when the team visited the area last Tuesday. But damage to the plants is just one issue facing Watson's Christmas trees. What is left of the road that once led to the 3-acre farm is another. We have to take into consideration that we don't have any roads. So for us to travel with a Christmas tree from around the farm, these men will have to hire to carry them. We are going to charge an arm and a leg to bring a tree, and for me to pay that, it would not be profitable, the road would be right there to come out here. Watson said, pointing to the pyramid road to her large farm from the view of a half-acre farm located in her backyard. Besides Christmas trees, there are also coffee, banana planting, cocoa farmers located behind the destroyed road, Penline Castle. So Watson's farm are feeling the blunt of what was destroyed by the disaster. Our livelihood have been lost. This is what we do to make a living because we don't have an office here, so we don't have anything else to survive from. This is our major source, and it's coffee time now. First, I normally buy coffee from. I can't even buy from because there is no road to take it out from the road, from the farm, she explained, adding that adding to the Christmas tree farmers with no alternative route to Pinline Castle community to drive to the 3 acre farm. It will take up to 6 hours of walking to and from the farm to transport trees, which will affect efficiency of the business. The Christmas tree farmers lamented that though the residents are no stranger to road defects, this is the worst she has seen. The roads are our major challenge over the years. We have a lot of cutoffs. Currently, we are unable to go through the river. Maybe after the water subsides, then we could, but it will take the like before because Granite Valley Bridge that was there got washed away, she told the Sunday Observer. Penline Castle community residents utilize St. Andrew community of Gordon Town, Mavis Bank, which normally takes about an hour. However, the impact by the bridge has left roads impassable in the wake of Hurricane Melissa, forcing residents to now travel 234-hour route through Morant Bay St. Thomas. For the Watsons, the challenge is a nightmare as the Christmas tree operation is based on delivery, which sees them supplying people in the corporate area and as far as Hanover. Most of our customers call and we deliver. I have customers who have already called and saying they need their trees early this year, so they wanted us to start in November, she said, highlighting that the Christmas tree takes approximately 4 to 5 years to grow and to be ready. Watson's told the Sunday Observer that the sections where that will have to cap going forward, disclosing that their anticipates output for this year has been cut in half thanks to the devastation caused by Melissa. Wow. In relation to their crops that was being grown in future years, she said approximately 35% of these plants have been impacted. I can see behind her the trees. In some farms, Christmas trees look like fire ran through them. They were brown, and I don't know when those trees will come back. In fact, I don't think some of them will come back. They would just be cut down and toss them. It's big impact, she said. And I see her there in a picture. And these look like some trees for them cut down, probably to carry for persons who want trees. Uh, yes, some of them they will look brown, like fire passed through them. Wow, end of article. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. We there, my people. We there, we there, we there. Tell them we there, yeah. Mama and Papa. Alien 1, 2, 3. Cindy, my sister, asks, "How are you?" I'm doing okay. Thanks be to God. Yeah, we'll also read some articles from the Jamaica Observer here. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Yes, indeed. Okay, get into this section of our devotional as we going through examine the scriptures. Proverbs 16, verse 32 says, "The one slow to anger is better than a mighty man, and the one controlling his temper than one conquering a city." How do you feel when a workmate or a schoolmate asks you about your beliefs? That is a question. Do you feel nervous? Question. Most of us do, but such question may offer insight into the other person's thinking or beliefs, giving us an opportunity to share the good news. At times, though, a person may raise a question in a challenging manner that should not surprise us. After all, some have been misinformed about our beliefs. Furthermore, we are living in the last days. Okay, I'm gonna switch my device because I think it's gonna show not so well. All right, let me read over about that. With such But such a question might offer insight into the person's thinking or beliefs, giving us an opportunity to share the good news. At times, though, a person may raise a question in a challenging manner that should not surprise us. After, after all, some of us have been misinformed about our beliefs. Furthermore, we are living in the last days, a time when many are not open to any agreement and are even fierce. You may wonder, how can I be gentle and gracious when someone challenges my Bible based belief? Question. What will help you? Question. In a word, mildness. A mild person does not get easily upset but is able to control himself when faced with frustration and uncertainty. But we think it's proper to hear from you what your thoughts are. So, for truly, as we guard this secret, we know it is spoken against everywhere. Acts 28, verse 22. Second Timothy 3, verse 1. But know this, that in the last days, critical times are to deal will be here. People will, it says, having no natural affection, not open to any agreement, slanders without self control, fears without love of goodness. That is how some of the people will react in these times. Yeah, man. You have to exercise mildness. So, with the year one, one, two, you know, just go and take care of yourself, my people, my friends, my YouTube family. Big up on yourself out there. Go and call upon the name of the Most High. Give praises to Yahweh. One thing. So, I have a sign out right here, my friends. Bless